In the summer of 2012, a group inspired by the Occupy Wall Street movement, called the 99% Declaration, planned an event in Philadelphia. They would collectively write a set of grievances that would later be presented for redress to the U.S. government, as laid out in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Thousands participated online in discussions and planning. Over 800 said they would participate. Just over 75 attended. The following is a glimpse into that event, which they called the Continental Congress 2.0.
People. The people have the power. You are the people. The people have the power.
My name is Ross Holloway.
Steve Cickay.
Stephen Kong.
I'm Craig Wood.
Miriam Ramirez.
My name is Michael Weiser.
This is Alex Easton Brown.
My name's Kristen Wilkerson.
My name is Deborah Corden.
My name is Tim Czarnecki.
My name is Robert Palumbo.
My name is Bobby Black.
Ed Farrenholz.
My name is Kat Wilson.
My name's Aaron Price.
My name is Michelle Rosenthal.
I'm Carol Brouillet.
My name's Edward Jenkins.
My name's Eliot Hochberg, and I'm a video director from Culver City, California.
I discovered the website for the 99% Declaration in October 2011 through a post on Facebook. I was excited by their plan to use the Constitution to try and address problems identified by Occupy Wall Street. Participants were invited to nominate themselves to be delegates to an event on July 4th weekend 2012 in Philadelphia. All you had to do was sign up, so I did. 2 delegates were to be selected from each congressional district by a vote of all participants in the 99% Declaration from that district. There was only one other candidate from my district, so I was guaranteed to attend. We each won the same number of votes. 1. When I arrived in Philadelphia, I didn't know what to expect. Everything seemed good at first. There was a check-in desk, then a line to get our voting machines. Then I entered the main ballroom. It was nearly empty. Just over 75 of the 800-plus delegates actually attended. Why? The original plan was to pay for all of the delegates to attend. Not enough money was raised, so those who couldn't afford to be there weren't. Others didn't attend because of drama in the months leading up to the event, disagreements about how the delegates were selected, and problems with the overall structure of the group. When the event finally began, things were a little discouraging.
If your device number is up there but your name is not up there, would you please go to the computer up in front?
Talk about what we shared.
It's easier for you to know who you are, but actually the number stays the same anyway. So
the first problems were with the electronic voting system. It was confusing and at times didn't register the users properly. Then, someone asked whether or not there could be abstentions.
And if anyone thinks that such events are smooth going from start to finish, they're wrong. There is always a rocky road, sometimes a boring road in these events.
And if you press 1, yes, and then you press yes again, you actually remove your vote. So.
Is it necessary to have the no vote? Is it for these categories, can you just do yes and we'll count the percentage to see if there's enough to include it?
I actually want everybody to vote.
I believe the no vote is important because if people choose to abstain from the vote, that would also remove them from the quorum of the voting mass.
I just question why it has to be a yes or no, why there isn't an abstention category, because when not everything is black and white, all or nothing. And
I'm proposing that we move forward, and as we move forward, we have a vote, yes or no, no abstains, to whether we want to have an abstain added or not.
Will it register that they pressed a 3? Will it register at least that they pressed something? Is there a way to make it so that they will? Because then that could simply show that they had their abstention.
If my diction, my word choice is aggressive, I apologize. It's not towards any one person, but I become extremely frustrated with breaks in process. I become extremely frustrated with people are obstructing this from getting done by the deadline.
I want to thank everybody for their comments and bringing in different perspectives and more clarity to this issue. Okay, we are moving forward. Okay, we are now getting ready to vote so we can prioritize the categories.
Although it was a great concept, it really wasn't executed as well as we would have hoped it to be. We were hoping to have 700 delegates here, and only 70 showed up. I think if there had been a little better organization and a little bit more management, a little bit more team building, a little bit more dialogue and communication between the steering committee and the delegates, that there would have engendered a lot more enthusiasm.
The event got better once the discussion groups began. The goal was to boil down various grievances into text that could be read and submitted to Congress. The debate was earnest and lively. The problem was we simply didn't have enough time to get everyone's point of view included. It didn't help that not everyone understood the rules of the game.
Well, we still have had some rough spots, but my definition of a successful event is that no one has gotten killed.
There should be no major interruption or disruption of somebody who is speaking, and if that happens, continuous, if there's a structured move to have that happen, we will have those people removed.
They should ask him to leave, but his disruption now is causing that. He was voting with more than one voting pad, okay? So what we asked, what we said we were doing for this evening was that he would not be able to come to the speaker and speak for the rest of this evening. We were not evicting him, we were not telling him he could not participate. We weren't taking away his right to vote. We were taking away his ability to come to the voting, which he's done a lot.
You did not see the unfairness.
And he wasn't kicked out because he has a voting. He was kicked out because he was disruptive.
I was expecting rancor and argument and all that, and that's come out.
When all the grievances had been voted on, a style committee rewrote them all to give them polish. Not everyone was happy with that process. But when it came time to march to Independence Square behind the 99% Declaration banner, everyone came together. Now that our differences were forgotten, we marched as one group with the expectation of presenting our grievances at the steps of Independence Hall. However, after a lengthy discussion with National Park officials, it turned out that our permit wasn't for Independence Hall.
There's a hardtop area. Okay, that was the area that you guys were permitted. Yeah.
Instead, in 100-degree heat, we presented our grievances here.
And the choices of romantic partners must not be restricted by the government. Our country imprisons more people per capita than any other country in the world to feed the profits of...
What did I learn from this event? I learned that an event like this takes more than passion and inspiration. It takes planning, patience, and communication. In the wake of the dissolution of the 99% Declaration group, it's hard to say if the event was a success.
I personally believe that the story is about this learning process that we have to go through in order to participate in our democracy, and it's not easy and it's not quick. And to try to make it easy and quick, especially in our age of digital where we can have things in our pocket and know things right away, it doesn't mean that people change the way they think, the way they want to be respected, the way they want to communicate, and the way they want to be heard. And if nothing else, I hope that this documentary demonstrates that and inspires other people to think really hard about how they're approaching communicating with groups of people to make changes in the world they live in.
But in the end, I'm glad I went. Parts were boring, parts were frustrating, but I came away knowing that we live in a country where citizens can gather together and try and make a difference. Despite the deep divides in our country, I came away happy that people still have hope.
We will be heard! We will be heard! And in time... Pushing through obstacles, overcoming setbacks, and basking in our hard-won victories, we will restore our democracy.
We will restore our democracy.
After completing this documentary, I realized there was more to the story than just my impressions of the Continental Congress 2.0. What follows is a sampling of what some of the delegates thought, in their own words.
This is Alex Easton Brown. Well, I've been active in politics. I was running for the California State Assembly as a representative from Marin and Sonoma counties, north of San Francisco. And I saw a TV commercial on Dylan Ratigan's show for the 99% Declaration. Was asked by Michael Pollack, the head of 99D, to if I would be the California coordinator. And then eventually I found myself on the steering committee, more or less by default. There'd been some people joining and unjoining the steering committee. It was a shifting thing. It was always in movement. Eventually it came down where I was asked to co-chair the steering committee. And then when the woman who was the other co-chair was not able to attend because of health reasons, we were going to co-chair the proceedings here. It wound up being chaired just by default. It's disappointing that we had hundreds and hundreds of people interested and signed up as delegates. We paid a voting system, internet voting system people lots of money, thousands of dollars to handle the voting of the delegates. That fell apart. Nation Builder, which handled our website, that started falling apart. We had real communications problems with our vendors. And the attendance that we have now reflects our internal communications problems. Now, there were a few individuals that had an agenda a little different than most of us. They proposed a panel consisting of 3 conservatives, 3 moderates, 3 liberals to screen all the grievances. We felt that most of these grievances were coming from the left, and if to screen them that way would just be to censor the grievances. Also, I said that, could you imagine Ben Franklin and James Madison here in Philadelphia going to the various pubs looking for Tories to bring over to the Continental Convention or the original Congress? It just didn't make any sense. So people who wanted to sign up as delegates, we have some Tories here, and that's fine. They've had their input. They've really lobbied hard to change the grievances. And you'll see in an hour or two, when we start discussing the grievances on the floor, you'll see a lot of that conflict rise to the surface and be voted on by the delegates. I like the idea of states having constitutional conventions. I know in California there's a movement for a constitutional convention, but the politicians are afraid it'll get out of hand and they'll lose control. So that's why they've been held back. But I see a lot of that happening in the future. It could happen tomorrow, next year, sometime.
My name is Deborah Corden from Flagstaff, Arizona, which is Arizona District 1, newly formed. The big issue for me is the subversion of our democracy by money in politics, elections, and government. I can't quite remember how I became aware of the 99% Declaration, but I did, and when I heard about the meeting in Philadelphia, my interest was not only piqued, but I was caught by the romance of the idea that we were following in the historical footsteps of the Founding Fathers. It's been very positive. I am, of course, disappointed at the numbers of people who actually came. But I feel that everybody is earnestly trying to listen very respectfully to each other and participate in making the country much more responsive to the people.
My name is Michael Weiser. I'm from former Congressional District 2, new Congressional District 4 in western Arizona. Arizona just redistricted. My number one issue was immigration, and second was Wall Street mortgage fraud. I hear a lot of people tell me that they believe that formal politics and the Occupy movement have no connection, and I challenge that. We have a structure that is really built in America around traditional political system, and if that is ever to be reformed without bloody revolution, it has to be taken over from the inside, as well as having social pressure from the outside. My expectations have been fulfilled I was expecting rancor and argument and all that, and that's come out. I'm encouraged to see how much we've accomplished at creating an actual document that codifies grievances and offers solutions. It's a big challenge, but this is a necessary early step. If it's just 1% of people protesting against 1% of people exploiting, then the middle don't win.
Okay, I'm Craig Wood. I'm a delegate from California, District 4. And I got involved in this process rather early in that it was a concept that was occurring in 2011 rather, and it started on the internet. We were making the proposal that maybe something of this nature could be done on this particular occasion on the 4th of July, and it was going to be a challenge to try and do it within that time period. Even the initial concept had enough problems that there was a situation where it looked like it might not be coming to fruition. The nature of the problem is that it was not clear how this operation is going to be financed, how transparent the operation is going to be. So there's just questions as to how it was going to proceed without any potential conflict of interest. Well, we need change, and we're going to have to work together, and it's not going to be given to us. We're going to have to request it politely, but that's just the polite way of demanding it.
My name is Tim Czarnecki. I was expecting to talk about stuff that affects me and the new guys coming back from war, and they don't appear to care about it. And when these guys come back, I figure they're going to care about it in 2022 like they're talking now. I didn't need to get health care from the veterans, even though I got out in '69, until 2004. Then I went to the Veterans Hospital because my insurance was running out, and they says, you can't get it. President Bush passed a law the year before that if you made 25 grand, you ain't eligible no more. I got all my money together. I bought an airline ticket, and I don't know where I seen it. It might have been at this site or something. I hope that I would be able to tell everybody what's on my mind, and tell them that I hope that when you leave here, you're going to take it to them instead of waiting for 20 years. Okay, first of all, nobody tells the truth. They talk hypothetically. I sat by a veterans table here. There was nobody there. They sent me to the healthcare table. Now I'm out here ready to leave. I'm talking to you. You don't have I want a solution for the next guys coming back, because I know they're going to get it just like we did.
My name's Kristen Wilkerson. I came out here because of mostly sustainability issues. That one of the biggest problems keeping us from enacting any sustainability laws in this country is the corporate money, mostly in politics. We broke up into groups to discuss the different sections of the bill that we're writing, and I got to talk a lot about the problems with corporate money in politics. We discussed public financing for all federal elections, but there were some discussions as to whether it was better to have public financing, but then also allow small private contributions from individuals, or just to have baseline public financing and have it equal for everyone. We're looking at problems with corporate ties between, I guess, ties between public officials and corporations that they regulate. Having those ties keeps public officials from being able to actually regulate agencies. At first I was kind of nervous because we got here, there weren't many people. It definitely wasn't the turnout that we were hoping for or expecting, and that was kind of a bummer, but actually I think it's been a really good group of people. There's been some really great debate going on today, and I'm feeling a lot better now at the end of the day.
Stephen Kong, well, separately, I think that Occupy doesn't have political agendas per se. They have economic agendas. We may have the same grievances, but the solutions will almost definitely be different because they have no faith in our current political system. I think that working within the system will be beneficial, and that's why I'm here to present political reforms along with the economic reforms. Obviously, people who don't feel like sleeping in the park or going on a march, they should do something about this, and if this is what they feel like they should be doing, then they're doing the right thing. I think that there is timing that you have to understand. Even with the march, you want to do it at the right time with the right people in the right places. As far as political reform, it's great that we're doing this on an election year. It's great that we're doing it on July 4th when many other organizations are coming together and we have the opportunity to put forth political reform that can actually cross the political spectrum, which is very rare and the only way to have a constitutional amendment, which I think is very necessary. I think that this specific movement, the 99 Declaration, has potential for political reform if we can galvanize the actual 99% of the population to actually have constitutional amendments, to actually have political reforms through legislation, and also vote out the people who have been bought out. So that's what I'd like to see come out of this specific 99 Declaration.
My name is Miriam Ramirez. I am from San Juan, Puerto Rico. But everywhere that I find a forum where I believe that I can help the people of Puerto Rico and to the extension of those living in the United States, I will be there, and that's why I'm here. We split into groups. It was very easy for me to explain. For example, in tax reform, and they're looking at that right now, one of them was to eliminate all these tax gimmicks for big corporations, and it said so that they will have to pay taxes in the states where they are. And all I said, please put there the states and Puerto Rico, and everybody said, yeah, no problem. Then now my other delegate from Puerto Rico is when they go to voting rights and they say everybody should be able to vote. And you know, they're talking about the Electoral College and everything like that. Well, we're U.S. citizens and we're not allowed to vote. Big businesses, they support an option that stands right next to statehood. Here's statehood, and everybody knows what statehood is. And then on this side, you have an option that says you're going to have permanent U.S. citizenship, permanent union to the United States. You're going to have all participation in federal programs, which we don't have right now. You're going to have all that. On top of that, you won't pay any taxes. So how come? So we win. Like we get like 49, they get like 47.
Right.
And then they say, well, you didn't win because you didn't get 50+1 or whatever. The reality is that members of Congress are getting campaign financing from pharmaceuticals, from all these people, and those are the people that want Puerto Rico to remain a territory where they can launder money. They do business. They make medicines in other countries. I don't want to demean any other country, but they're paying 50 cents maybe a day. Then they bring these medications to Puerto Rico in vans. They're not even open because they're pharmaceuticals. And I know because I speak to people who work in the pharmaceuticals, most of the time all they do is just put a label on it to ship it to the United States, made in USA. Employment in the United States has been having a tough time, and the economy has been having a tough time, so this system doesn't work. They got to change it. That's why I'm here.
Okay, my name is Kat Wilson. I'm from New Mexico, District Number 1. And I was just here because I wanted to do something other than just fill out petitions and call my senator.
Joe Cuozzo, New Jersey 4th District. And I think this is a good way to be able to vocalize what our problems are. Like, we need to be able to say, you know, people are like, we have this problem, we need to do this. Well, we can actually say now, here is a list of problems. This is what we need to get fixed. Something concrete that a lot of people can agree on. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be how it was originally planned. You know, one boy, one girl from every congressional district in the nation. But I was kind of hoping for like more of a turnout. I think the difference is that Occupy is purposefully trying to stay vague, from my understanding, on what they want. They don't want to have a concrete list. Like they say, we want to end corporate spending, we want to end this. They're not offering a whole lot of solutions, though. They have the numbers.
Yes, my name is Robert Palumbo. I am from Rockland County, New York, representing the 17th District.
of New York State. And if there's one thing that I hope to accomplish is that government cannot walk all over us, that they have to listen to us because we are the government. We are the people. Government in the United States was never meant to be an oppressive form. It was meant to be a representative form, a constitutional republic. And we currently do not have a constitutional republic. We have a distant federal government who does not coincide with the people. I just want to say that being a part of the 99%, being a part of the libertarian viewpoint, I'm very glad to have been involved in this process. Although I might have been a minority viewpoint, I think it is very important that that minority viewpoint is heard because it does represent a portion of the American people. I feel that everything here wasn't necessarily what I wanted, but that's okay. I'm very grateful that the items regarding civil liberties, including the repeal of the Patriot Act and the lines taken out of the National Defense Authorization Act regarding indefinite detention and not having fair trial. I am very glad that that got passed, along with our grievance regarding perpetual war for profit. I feel that as a libertarian, the heart of the core of my beliefs is that the individual is ranked supreme, their rights are ranked supreme, and by killing people without a declaration of war, unconstitutionally, it is a violation of civil liberties.
My name is Steve Cickay. I'm from Pennsylvania. I came to this convention with a hope of making a significant change to our American political system to get it back to its roots. I'd like to thank Michael Pollack and the steering committee for coming up with a great idea. I think this idea of having a convention here in Philadelphia with such a historic basis it was very important, and it was a very important time in this country where we need to get our democracy back to where it needs to be, not overly influenced by excessive amounts of money. However, I do have to honestly say that although it was a great concept, it really wasn't executed as well as we would have hoped it to be. We were hoping to have 700 delegates here, and only 70 showed up. I think if there had been a little better organization and a little bit more management, a little bit more team building, a little bit more dialogue and communication between the steering committee and the delegates, that there would have engendered a lot more enthusiasm and interest, and more people would have come. Secondly, I think that there was a mistake made of not engaging the media in a very positive way and forming a vibrant committee, outreaching to the media to kind of get a lot of interest in what we were doing. That needs to be done next time. The draft that we produced of our grievances was kind of lengthy, and unfortunately I think we should have really started it online a few months ago. So in conclusion, I'd just like to say it was a great idea, but we needed, I think, some better operational leadership and a little bit better execution. And hopefully the next time we do this, we can learn from the mistakes we made and make it an even stronger effort that will resonate with the American people.
Ed Farrenholz, New Jersey District 1. What I hope to get from coming here is just to change our country for the better, take our country back, and make it life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness and the American dream, which we should all have. With all that we've done here, we have an appreciation for what our founding fathers went through. We're only less than 100 people, but they were only 55, and look what they brought forth. So that's it. I'm just proud to be a part of the whole thing, and I hope we do make a change.
My name is Bobby Black. I'm representing the 10th District of New Jersey, and my main goal here in the Continental Congress 2.0 was to end the war on drugs and legalize marijuana. Ever since I first heard about the 99 Declaration group, I was very excited about it. I've always felt that the Occupy movement, I related greatly to the Occupy movement. I rooted for it since its beginning, but I felt that at some point that message would need to be taken from the streets into Congress. It would need to be translated from a protest into actual change in our government. And when I saw and heard about the 99 Declaration Group, I was very optimistic about what it was trying to do, and I immediately created a profile and wanted to be a part of it, regardless of what comes of it, regardless of what type of impact it has or doesn't have in the long run. I feel very privileged and honored to have been a part of it. I feel like it was a historic experiment in democracy that was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm just thrilled with, not with every little thing, the way every little thing went, but with the overall effort and with the passion of the people involved. I feel it was just a fantastic experience that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
I'm Aaron Price. I'm from Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, District 15, and I came here to try and improve our government. But I came here out of a passion for trying to make our government work. And what I learned from this experience was pretty much that it's all about compromise and dialogue and listening to people, hearing what they have to say. And that's how you really work through issues. It's painful sometimes, it's really hard, but it's also very important.
My name is Michelle Rosenthal, and I'm here from Bensonhurst in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm here to promote Peace One Day and the National and International Peace Everyday Treaty for Global Truce and Global Ceasefire to be passed in the United Nations by all nations to sign to end all war on earth.
My name is Carol Brouillet, and one reason that I came is because I wanted to be sure to include a really important grievance to me, and that was to take the power to create money out of the hands of the private banks and turn money into a public utility to meet our health, education, infrastructure needs. I think that if we could do that in this country, it would just change everything, and we could help move from a war economy towards a peace economy and survive as a species.
My name is Trip Jenkins. I'm from Sonora, California. My expectations coming here were strictly to gather with other people that are like-minded and want to change in government and want to see things change inside our country, and to whether or not we make a huge difference in our statement here, to be able to gather and make a beginning to something new and hopefully wonderful.
Christopher Norman Kulik from the California 1st District, as a delegate who is representing both Humboldt and Mendocino counties. One of the primary reasons I came here was to end the 75th year war on drugs. I was in the Navy for 8 years, so of course I feel very strongly about veterans' benefits, particularly when they're being disenfranchised and their benefits are being taken away by the federal government. And it also, upsets me greatly that they're using our soldiers and sailors mostly for profit and not for fighting for our freedoms.
My name is Ross Holloway. I am a retired professor from Brown University, now living in North Carolina. I represented the 4th Congressional District of North Carolina here at the 2nd Continental Congress in Philadelphia. I came here because I believe that this group, meeting together with national representation, could crystallize the sentiments, widespread but ill-defined, that exist in the country today. We're used to reading about important meetings that have changed the world. Of course, the First Continental Congress leading the pact. The deliberations of the French Revolution, the Versailles Congress. I could go on and on. However, very few people have ever lived through such an event. And if anyone thinks that such events are smooth going from start to finish, they're wrong. There is always a rocky road, sometimes a boring road in these events. But the end results are always impressive. And I think that the end results here, bringing together in 18 or 19 points the basis for the grievance document to be submitted as is the right of citizens to do under the Constitution, will be a significant step in improving the outlook of a wide spectrum in the United States, and perhaps leading to significant reforms. It's been an enormous personal satisfaction to me to feel that I was able to participate in an effective and concrete fashion in supporting the nation that I love so much.